I was made for bobbing you, baby. Here's your look at the Jaberwocky toys. This is the Kiss 1975 Dress to Kill Blow-Ups. If something's driving you wild, don't let it drive you crazy. Summon up the Blow-Ups, the Kiss rock band collector's art figures. The set includes the hottest band in the world and includes the Demons, Starchild, Spaceman, and Catman. Be prepared to flick, spin, and bop them all day and night. So suit up like it's 1975 and get dressed to kill with Kiss. I have a feeling I'm going to want to bob these all night and probably party every day. Although I'm getting a little bit older to be partying every day now. I'd like to first thank the folks over at Jaberwocky Toys that did provide the samples of the Kiss blow-ups that we could have a look at in this review. To get things underway, we're going to go ahead and measure these. I don't really need to necessarily measure every single one of these, as they're going to be roughly the same height to one another, pretty much utilizing the same bodies. It's really only the paint that's going to change from one to the other. So we're going to start things off first with Ace Frehley, and we're going to take the ruler right to the very top of his head. The figure stands about 6 inches in height, or about 15 centimeters tall. Instead of going the expected route of simply just releasing the Kiss members in their traditional concert outfits, Jaberwocky decided to do something a little bit different, and instead base their designs off their third studio album from 1975, Dress to Kill, in which on the front of the album cover you have all the members of Kiss wearing suits. Suits that weren't theirs and didn't really 100% fit them. It's kind of interesting, a different take on Kiss, because again, I would have just expected them to release it based on their concert outfits. We're going to start things off, first of all, with the Spaceman Ace Frehley. Now, all of these are basically going to be designed the exact same way. On the back, which is kind of fun, the blow-ups have a fake nozzle. Now, these nozzles would have been normally opened up on the back. I don't know if you would have had a blow-up as a child. I had a blow-up of a clown. It's quite a scary-looking thing now that I look back on it. But the whole idea is that you would just open up the nozzle. Whoosh, whoosh. That's the sound of a blowing, by the way. You're going to be blowing inside of it to inflate it. And I think it's neat the fact that they would have incorporated that onto the back of each one of the blow-ups. Jaberwocky not only has produced Kiss blow-ups, but a whole wide range of ones that we're going to be looking at here on this channel, thanks to the folks over at Jaberwocky for providing the samples. One thing that's also neat about all of these, and it's consistent across the board, is that you can see a seam line in which the two halves of the plastic would have been glued or stitched together. Even though this is a solid mass of very weighted plastic, the very idea that they would have actually put a seam line along the outer edge of it, I think is a really nice touch, and it lends well to the idea that this looks like it would have been inflated. Ace Frehley here, though, the Spaceman, has some really nice paintwork done to his face. Of course, the stars on both the sides connecting up the middle here, just above the bridge of his nose. Generally quite flat, of course, because they're just simply going to be printed in place. The coloring of both the hair and as well as the way they've painted and printed on the suit really does give me that vibe of the 1975 album, one of my personal favorites. The arms are something that can swivel on these. They are sort of ball jointed, so not only can you rotate them back and forth this way, but you can also kind of hinge them out too. And that's something, again, that's going to be quite consistent with upcoming looks at these blow-ups from Jaberwocky. The neat thing also about these two is while the top part kind of feels more hollow, the bottom of it is really more heavily weighted. You can feel like there's a lot more mass and weight down below here. Because they are weighted, you can actually bob them back and forth. Not completely all the way down, because that will knock them down, but you can certainly, though, bob them back and forth like this and have quite a lot of fun doing it along the ways. So that's the Spaceman. We're going to put him right there. A personal favorite from many, I would say, is probably the Demon. Of course, Gene Simmons. Now, Gene Simmons, again, different from what we're used to seeing here as he's wearing the suit from the album. The makeup of him is exactly the same. The only thing that's been missing here, I think, for Demon Gene Simmons, is the tongue that's sticking out. But I guess the original album didn't really have his tongue sticking out. I think he was just sort of posed there awkwardly, wearing a suit that really wasn't properly fitted for him. The face sculpt, face printing, I should say, is actually quite nice. Again, replicating the look of the Demon's makeup. That stays pretty consistent over the years, even though they sort of went through that window of time in which Kiss didn't really want to wear makeup, and then nowadays everybody sort of just familiar thinking of them. They always kind of think of Kiss as the characters with makeup, because some of their recent farewell tours, which never really seems to be a farewell tour, they always go back to the idea of wearing makeup, because that's the thing that people most identify to. Again, the arms are exactly the same, so you can rotate those all the way around and hinge them back and forth. But that's Gene Simmons. The base is going to be the back black base, which seems to be consistent across all of it. It would have been nice, actually, that they would have colored the bottom of the base the same coloring as his more gray suit. Again, they probably are just using the same weight across all of these. So there's the Demon. On to that next, the Star Child, and a personal favorite, I'm sure, of some of them. This is Paul Stanley, of course. Now, Paul Stanley, considered by the leader of the group, between him and Gene Simmons really being the founding members of KISS. And then sort of the rest of the members kind of jumped in and jumped out depending what lineup they had at the time. But Paul Stanley, again, a big popular fan favorite of KISS members out there, the KISS Nation. Again, you've got the one star there at the top. I really like the expression they've given also here on his face. A slight kind of curl of his lip up to the one side. Definitely, I think, captures the look of Paul Stanley. The only thing, again, that's really missing here is the big, outrageous hair. Something that really all the members of KISS were certainly noted for having. I do also like the fact that even though the hair is more of a darker color, you can still see that they've gone in there and panel lined some of that. Again, this is all just printing on. They haven't gone in there and I would imagine hand painted these. But again, the look definitely is effective, and it looks like something that would have been blown up and contained with air. Again, it bobs the exact same way as the other two that we finished having a look at. I probably would love just to have them all kind of bobbing right now so you can see how they sway back and forth. And then, of course, the last one, putting everyone back kind of somewhat in order that we left it. The last one is the Catman. Now, of course, this is Peter Criss. Of course, that has been changed. He has left the group. I think he's left the group a couple of times along with Ace Frehley. And then they sort of have rotated, alternating members of KISS, sort of still working around the idea of Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley still being the founding members. I still like the look of it. Certainly, he does have the painted in their nose with the whiskers there off to the side, the painted in green eyes. Again, all the stuff that you would expect to see from Catman. Again, I love the stitch line around the outer edge of this. This is the thing that really sells it the most for me. Not only is the fact that there's the nozzle on the back to it, you could imagine could open up. It would be fun, actually, if they could have had like a little tab there. They could actually have flipped it up. But of course, it wouldn't have been able to contain air. It'd just be, I still feel like it is hollow inside, though the base of it definitely has a lot more of the weight. The arms, again, are exactly the same. I'm glad to see as well, mentioned already in this review, I'm glad to see that the arms do actually hinge out and not just swivel back and forth. But there's the Catman, Peter Criss. Great looking figures, great looking collectibles. Again, Jaberwocky has done a whole ton of different blow-ups, and you'd be surprised the stuff that they've done, from anime, different metal bands, and even some horror characters, all of which we will be looking at in upcoming videos, all thanks again to the folks over at Jaberwocky Toys for providing these. Whether you're an old or newer member of the KISS Army, over the years I'm sure you've curated quite a lot of KISS collectibles, as you gotta believe KISS is one of the most merchandised bands on this planet. Some of it, most of it, okay, all of it, has a lot to do with Gene Simmons, basically lending his likeness and the likeness of the rest of the band out to anything and everything he thought KISS could be on. That's why we have things like KISS pencils, KISS toothbrushes, KISS kids bed sheets, and even comic books inked in the band's own blood. Seriously, I'm not making up that last one either. Deciding, though, not to take the cues from concerts instead, Jaberwocky Toys actually designed their blown-ups of the KISS based on the 1975 third studio album, by the way, of the band, called Dress to Kill. That's why they're all wearing suits like this. It's a different take. One thing you will not see here as a blown-up is how well these suits are fitted to their bodies. Quite the different take when you actually look at the album cover, and you see how awkwardly short those pants look on Gene Simmons' legs. Other than that, though, I just like the idea that they're different for a change. Instead of having the more traditional-looking KISS, what we get is nice, well-suited, well-dressed looking KISS members. Not to say wouldn't be open to Jaberwocky down the road releasing a second wave of blown-ups for KISS, where we get the more traditional-looking outfits, big, long, awkward tongues sticking out from Gene Simmons' mouth. Seriously, how long is that tongue? Now, one correction I did want to make into this review, I did mention that the blown-ups felt hollow. Not the case, actually. They're actually made of vinyl, so they're weighted from head to toe. More weighted down from the bottom, of course, that will allow them to sway back and forth. You can either knock them, or allow them just to kind of bobble back and forth. Or if you really want to, you can just take one hard swing and knock them down completely. They have posability, of course, also in their arms too. So not only are they just staction-looking figures, but you can actually get a little bit of posability going in their arms. I like that idea, and even just love the idea that, like the original blown-up toys that would have been back in the 80s and even probably even before that, I wonder if I still have my blown-up clown. It's probably a probably not a good idea if I try tracking that down. I think as an adult, I'd be more freaked out with all the horror films I've seen. I know how well clowns do in horror films. Maybe I'm just not going to leave. I'm just going to leave that slightly deflated. I'm sure by now it's all fully deflated clown. Just going to leave it where it's currently dwelling right now. But one thing I do like about these is they actually put the little seam lines right around the outer edge of their bodies. So it actually looks like the original blow-up toys, even down to the fact that they actually put the artificial valve on the backs of their bodies. Don't blow into it, though. You're just going to pass out because it's solid vinyl. By the way, if you guys are interested to pick these ones up for yourself, here in Canada, they're at various GameStop locations. They're also available in various locations across the US and also on Amazon too, if you guys are interested to pick these ones up for yourself. Big thank you, though, to the folks over at Jaberwocky Toys that did provide the samples of the Kiss Blownups that we can have a look at in this review. I feel like I did say in this review, blow-ups. They're actually blown ups with a little N on the end of it, but they were nice enough to send over the Kiss members that we can have a look at in this review. For your video question for today, not talking specifically about the 1975 album Dress to Kill, but what is your favorite Kiss album? And of that album, what's your favorite song in the album? For Dress to Kill, seeing as we're just talking about Dress to Kill anyways, one of my favorite songs from Dress to Kill is Getaway. Love Getaway. But let me know down below in the comments section, favorite Kiss album, favorite Kiss song on that album. And if you are also new to this channel, you're enjoying the content that you're seeing, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell notification so you get those friendly reminders of whenever new videos are going to be popping up. And just a friendly reminder from the person that's behind the camera to you, the person that's in front of the monitor, there are going to be more blown up reviews coming your way from the folks over at Jaberwocky Toys. So make sure you keep your peepers peeled to this channel. As always, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.